when you come from a middle class household, the mentality is to find a safe job, to get a
Yes.
salary, save up, buy a house, like get your own house. The first house I bought was in 2017. For a film like Kushi, isolation is not the answer.
Yeah.
You need to be as social and as happy as possible to make like a funny comic love story. So it was very important to really get along with the team, to love everyone on the team, and you all had to have a bond and enjoy. Whereas for a film like for Arjun Reddy or for VD12, it's more about being isolated and not interacting with people. You want to
Yes.
be in your own head, in your own thoughts.
Hello, Vijay. How are you doing?
Hi, Shtam. Well,
Let me tell you, I just checked Rowdy's collection and I already have my favorites. So,
what are your
congratulations
favorite?
for relaunching. There is this cream hoodie with the patchwork and all. So,
Yeah,
that's
with
something
the
I'll buy.
Kalankari patch.
Tell me something,
Nice.
what made you relaunch Rowdy? What was your idea behind it? Like relaunching a streetwear collection.
It was just learning more about our history in a way. I was reading a lot and listening to a lot of things about India. I'm a reader. I enjoy reading while traveling and stuff. And there was so many things that I was never aware of that I learned about our own country. Some of it being about how we were such a great nation and how we were far superior to the world when it came to art, culture, textile, fashion. Apparently, the first bunch of East India traders that came were so fascinated by Indian fashion and robes and jewelry that they would all dress like us. They were all dressing like Indians because we were so cool. They looked up, they were like, what is this civilization that is so superior? They were all getting married to Indian women and trying to speak our language. They were all learning our languages before it was orchestrated and turned around, and we were made to work for them and made to feel inferior, and we were exploited. That was how it was. And while the world was wearing sheepskin, we were like doing cotton, silk. We were doing crazy things with clothes and textiles and print forms, and our clothes were being exported. They were traded. It was something that it was luxury, Indian textile to have them. And suddenly we went through such the period of uh, being an empire's occupied by an empire and stuff. It just left us dry. They sucked us dry and left us fighting for survival and left us trying to regain the respect to our name. But I believe it's time now that we are all there and we are all aware and we are ready to take over, to reclaim what is ours, to reclaim our supremacy across platforms and stuff. And then there was this one trip. I went on a holiday last year to Bali, and while I was listening to all these podcasts and listening to our culture, and I went on this holiday to Bali, and I saw all the local Balinese all dressed in their little lungis with their little headgear, and they were all wishing us in their traditional way. And I loved it. I was like, I came here, and I love traveling here because they're so true to what is theirs. If they were dressed in a black suit and felt like Marriott, I wouldn't want to go all the way to Bali
Right.
if it felt like one corporate hotel. And I enjoyed, and there was a festival, local festival happening. India also celebrates our festivals in a huge way. But I just enjoyed. I was like, this is what makes me love this country, and this is what I love about being Indian and our own country. And it made me feel like I was already doing clothing, and it made me feel like this is what I want to do. I want my company. I want anything that I do to mean to. I want my clothes to mean this. That's what I connected to, and so we created RWDY, Indian Street Culture.
Okay. Okay. So are we
Hmm.
going to pronounce it as Rowdy or RWDY? What
We'll
is
call
it?
it Rowdy. We'll call it Rowdy. simpler,
So
easier.
what's the story behind the name?
It's
You are rowdy.
yeah, people who like me, my audience, they call me Rowdy, and that was a brand I started 5 years ago. So when I started something, I did consider completely renaming it. We now have a new logo, new philosophy, everything. But somewhere, everybody that I spoke to, my team, everyone was like, "Can you keep the name, please?" Because we are now connected to that name, we don't want you to completely let it be. Uh, it was more for my audience than myself, so I decided to rename it RWDY. We removed the O, uh, and yeah, this is our new name.
Vijay, how involved are you with the ideation process or probably the daily decision making, or maybe sitting with the designers, with people? How involved are you?
This is my style. The entire collection you see is my style. It's my aesthetic. It's something that I see in my brain. I creatively direct the brand. I have an incredible team of designers, uh, people who know fabric, textile, people who understand the philosophy behind the brand. A great creative team. But I s- we s- So it's basically a 6 months process creating a collection. We start off with the team sitting with me and we create the flats for the designs, sketching and graphic flats. And once we are done with that, then I sit and pick out the fabric with the team. And once we pick out fabric, the first set of samples come. Uh, and I'm the first person who tries on the samples. And once I like the fit and once I like everything, then it goes into production. So like every detail, everything, I've either asked them to put it in or I've approved it when it's been a better idea that I didn't think of. But it's mostly I creatively drive the brand as on today.
Tell me something about the logo. I mean, what does it represent? For me, it is a lotus, it is a crown. What is it about?
I wanted because we're talking about reclaiming Indian supremacy and we're calling it Indian street culture, and that is the
Okay.
whole intention behind the clothing line. I wanted a logo that stands strongly for something from India. I had four options. One was the charka that's in the Indian flag, which is also a weaver tool. I was like, can we use that? One was the swastika, but somebody has given it a bad reputation and made it uh, unusable. Somebody from another country. Uh, the third thing was a lotus and a crown, and the fourth thing was a namaste. I was like, between these four, these are the strongest resemblance uh, to India and fashion for me. And they'll make beautiful logos, all of them. So then we fused the lotus and the crown. Uh, the crown I wanted because I believe we were the kings of textile. We were far superior than the world when it came to art, when it came to poetry, when it came to music. Uh, our Vedas have bars. Our Vedas were rhyming and had bars that were from what time that today's rap is doing. Uh, everything is like it's crazy how from so long ago our culture was so rich. So I wanted the lotus because it's our national flower and it's so involved in our Indian mythology, our Indian stories, and it's so strongly Indian. And I wanted the crown because I was like, this speaks of our gods are kings, like Rama, Krishna, all of them are kings, and we were superior in all these fields. So I was like, can we bring a fusion into these two? And after a bunch of adaptations and iterations, we came up with the current logo, which is like a lotus and a crown.
It's so beautiful to hear you talking so passionately about the brand. So, yes. Tell me something, the other collection or say the other brand. It was quite affordable and, something that everybody could buy. What about this streetwear collection? What is the price range
This is,
like? And where do you buy?
we average it around, today it's today it's around 3,500, I would say, is the price range. It is it's an amazing price for what we do. Uh, and to give you all this experience and the quality and the design, if I have to play with Indian fabric, uh, I think this is where I wanted to stay. I wanted to make it accessible to everyone, and I didn't want to cut out on the quality of clothes. I wanted it to be international. The design and quality, I wanted it to be something that people from across the world will wear. Uh, and so it's priced at the range that you see.
Vijay, you started your career in 2011, and now we have Kushi. I love the film. We met for the trailer also. Then you have Family Star, and then VD12. I want to understand, how do you look back at your journey? And was there a time when people told you, you can't make it big, it's okay, don't do it, don't get into acting? How has the journey been? What kept you motivated?
Yeah, when you're not from a film family, of course, it's like a one in a million chance to kind of break through. And when you come from a middle class household, the mentality is to find a safe job, to get a
Yes.
salary, save up, buy a house, like get your own house. The first house I bought was in 2017, post my third film. That's when our family could afford a house. So from the time, but I remember from the time I was in fourth grade, where I kind of understood money. I was always told for my birthday, I was given 100 rupees by my grandmother or my aunt and said, save it. It was your gift, but you had to save it. You couldn't spend it. And everything was like, save, 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 buy a house for your parents. You need a roof over your head. So when I spoke about getting into cinema, everyone was just like, they were worried and they were scared. Uh, but it was something I wanted to do, and I did it for myself. And I'm very grateful that I've made it. Uh, yeah, I just made it happen.
You're doing it brilliantly. So yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Shita.
Like I just mentioned, I love Kushi. I mean, it's such a beautiful, sweet film, and the songs are brilliant. I want to understand, what is your approach as an actor when you get a script? How do you treat a character? Do you go into, like, say, isolation and then prepare for it, or do you like meeting people? What is it like for you?
Different films carry different moods. For a film like Kushi, isolation is not the answer.
Yeah.
You need to be as social and as happy as possible to make like a funny comic love story. So it was very important to really get along with the team, to love everyone on the team, and you all had to have a bond and enjoy. Whereas for a film like for Arjun Reddy or for VD12, it's more about being isolated and not interacting with people. You want to
Yes.
be in your own head, in your own thoughts. So different kind of films carry different moods and have different processes uh, that just work for you. Uh, Maybe different actors approach it. I'm sure different actors approach it differently.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, you find your way. There's no plan that you go in with. You just feel like I need this. I don't want, I want this or I don't want this, and you find your way to doing it.
At this stage in your career, I would say that you are one of the finest actors we have in the Indian film industry, basically. But I want to understand, what is an actor's intuition like? Do you understand, maybe while shooting a film, or let's say when you watch the first cut, that a film is going to work or not? Do you get that intuition? What is it like for you?
I believed till recently that I know exactly how a film is going to perform. But I made a very wrong call on a previous film of mine, and since then I've
We talk.
which shocked me because because it shook my belief in my own call. Uh, that affects you more than anything else. Like how did I not? It's a flaw in your system if you're not able to see it. And so I've taken a step back from it, and I'm just trying to do the best job I can with scripts I like. So when I like a film, I always give it my all and try to make it as real as possible and give the audience an amazing story and an amazing performance. So now I've taken a step back from making a call on the success or failure of a film.
But then how do you deal with failures? I mean, see, we all have our shares of success, our share of failures. I would say for Liger, I mean, you gave your 500%, I would say, like you worked on your body, physique, and the character, everything. It didn't do well at the box office, and that's all right. But how do you deal with failure or say a setback?
It's good. It's good because that's life, no?
Yeah,
You just need to keep doing things, and you need to give it your everything. And definitely, there's nobody on this planet that everything works for. That's not how
exactly.
how nature works. Uh, and I when you give your all to everything, even if it doesn't work, you take a lot from it.
Right.
Liger changed. Liger gave me a new dimension in acting. It opened up different areas of my acting. It was a very different performance that I did. Liger put me on a now I work out every single day because of Liger. Because I did 2 years training for it. It's just become a habit that I love. I love my training, and this is something that will serve me for life. Liger made me meet so many people. Like I know so much of the North Indian belt because I traveled to all these cities because of this film, which is good.
Right.
And it doesn't phase me. It doesn't phase me as much because I'm like, okay, now you get up and you do it all over again, uh, and you make your point to yourself that there were a lot of statements that I made during Liger, which fell through, which I didn't like because when I say something, I want it to happen. But I know that I'll get them. Every statement that I made,
Yes.
I will get it done. I will get it done.
I'm sure. I'm definitely sure. So, tell me
Yeah.
something. Do you really wear burqa and go and watch your films in theaters?
Used
Do you
to,
really do that?
used to. I used to, but not recently. But if needed, I will do it again. I did it for a couple
To
of
Delhi and
films.
do it.
Uh,
Come to Delhi and do it and just tell me. So yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tell me something. You've had a humble beginning, like you mentioned just now. I want to understand
yeah.
at this stage in your career where you can probably afford everything, if not everything, most of the thing. Do you still look at the price tag or, wait for discounts or, bargain? What is it like for you now?
See, I don't. Mm, for me, all the money I make, I put it into ideas. Uh,
Okay.
I've had a I've had a 5 year career. I think 2015. So let's say 8 year. 2016 was my first release as a leading actor. So seven years. Imagine in 7 years, I've just bought. I just bought my first car. I never owned a car. Uh, I see all these press about me owning 6 cars, 7 cars, and stuff. I don't, because for me, a car means I love comfort. I love comfort and luxury, but more than that, I don't mind anything. I'm not attached to these things. I I own one house. I don't buy properties, but this is the first time. Now my dad used to farm when I was a kid. Uh, my grandfather was farmer, and for me, my dad enjoys farming. It makes him happy. So I just bought my first piece of land. because now they are at that age where they want to be in the farm, they don't want to be in the city as much, and he wants to cultivate stuff. But all my money has gone into, as soon as I made some money, I started a clothing line. As soon as I made money, I started a production house. Uh, as soon as I, I like to invest in people and ideas. Uh,
Okay.
more than in things. So the very few times I I shop like once a year, or when I'm traveling, if I like something. Yeah, and for me it's more about the artistic creation behind it. If I like something, even when it comes to clothes or shoes, I admire the engineering behind it, of how it's
Right.
put together and stuff. I don't buy the regular. Uh, I don't mind wearing anything at all because you give me anything, I'll make it look cool as long as it
I am
fabric
sure
is
about that.
comfortable. Yeah. So for me, yeah, now money is important and you need to respect money, but I don't look at money as much, not because I have too much of it. It's because I believe you take everything from me today, I know that I'll make it again tomorrow. Uh, I know that I can generate money or wealth uh, from nothing. That's why for me, money is not like a huge factor. Like I don't think about like Rowdy creating this label. It's all funded by me, and a ton of money has gone into paying salaries, offices, fabric, creating this whole collection. You're having your warehousing 40 styles and like so much stock. So it's all like a lot of money, but it doesn't worry me one bit. Uh, I love that I created this, and I'll see where it goes.
That you again beautifully put. Like, tell me something. You just mentioned production house. I want to understand. King of the Hill Entertainment, is it still active? Are you still producing films?
No, it's not. It's not active currently because I didn't enjoy. I made a couple of films, but
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the process of being a producer. Uh, because I'm not a money guy. A producer is a money guy. He needs to understand budgeting. I'm more a creative guy, so I'm more into direction,
Creative.
scripting, and stuff. So I just realized that production is not my thing, but it's always there. I have a strong team that is now creating all the content for Rowdy, for my personal stuff. Uh, Eventually, we want to do other things with this team. I have some other ideas that I don't want to talk about right now, but I think in 3-4 months, we will start something else. And it's about grooming. For me, I get excited by talent. If I see somebody who's a really good camera guy, a really good photographer, I'm like, how do I create a platform to blow this thing up? How do we create work for this? If I hear singers, I'm like, I need to start I need to start a music label to pick up these, because I see a lot of young singers with not much of an audience. People are not exposed to them, but with crazy talent. I'm like, how if I can get them and give them a platform and create something amazing, that'll be good. That's something that I want to do soon. So these are things I do.
My last question would be, what's next? What can we like? I am waiting for Family Star. I'm waiting for VD12. What can you tell us about it? Your character with like your poster with Mrinal is looking amazing. What else you can tell us?
I connect to Family Star because growing up, this was my story. In a way, it talks about every family, every bloodline has one person that will come up and change the course of that family. There'll be one grandfather who set up an industry that generations after are having a good life from, because he came and he
Yes.
fought for the family and set up something. For a lot of us, it is our generation that is changing it. We are the first generation to get good education. We are first generation to find jobs, be exposed to so many things, create a career, and our children are going to benefit. My children are going to have a much more comfortable life and access to so many things than
Right.
I did. But my parents worked really hard to give me what I had. So it talks about that person in the family who comes and fights for the family and changes their bloodline, changes the course of that family. At the same time, it's a really funny, massy film with love, and it has all these elements. So the character I connect with, he's this guy who will go to a supermarket and buy only 1+1 things that are on 1+1. I have driven bikes for so many years to college and turned off the engine when it's going on down a slope. Uh, Driven car with my windows rolled down without an AC, and only when I had family in the car I would roll it up and turn on AC little bit to save on fuel. So all these things are part of the story, all these little traits which I connect to, and which are a lot of our stories. So I'm excited for Family Star. We are in the last bit of it. We should be done by the end of Jan, and we'll get it out in March. So that's about Family Star. And it's me with the director who I did Geeta Govindam with, and so we're happy with what we're doing, and we cannot wait for audience to watch and enjoy this. And then it'll be followed by my movie with Gautam Tinanuri, which is titled VD12 for now. We have very exciting schedules ahead. That's a very large film set a bit in the period, and then it's followed by a bunch of other films that there's a lot of work I need to do, a lot of work coming up, but it's all exciting.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I am waiting for Family Star. I just hope it's dubbed in Hindi also so that I can enjoy it. So,
Yeah,
yes, I am waiting for it and I hope to speak to you again when it's released. So, yes.
done, Nishita. Thank you.